All right, we're back again.
I never felt so alive.
Chest day. A little bit of a hiccup in the mood today, but you know, I'm not gonna let it affect the lift. Sometimes things in your life just happen where, getting in the gym is better than not getting in the gym at all. You know, you had a rough day, you slept like crap, going to the gym and pushing through it is a good way to strengthen your mental toughness. There's nothing bad that can come from being mentally strong. It's going to help you. It's going to help you in all aspects of your life. This guy's riding my butt. But I mean, training the reward center of your brain and making sure that you're not it makes things you don't want to do easier if you're not constantly uh, giving yourself dopamine, sitting and scrolling through your phone. Mental toughness. There's a lot of ways for you to strengthen your brain. You know, it helps. If you had a bad day and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. Pushing yourself just a little bit to get in there and get after it's gonna, you do that repetitively. You're gonna notice a difference in your life. Nothing wrong is gonna come of that, of course, as long as you're, you know, eating right and getting semi good rest. You don't want to be training too hard and hurt yourself. As long as you think you're ready to train. A rest day. As much as I hate to say it, and it kind of goes against what I just said, a rest day might be in the cards if you're, sore and you feel like you're going to injure yourself. But I mean, even then, I'd be getting in the gym and doing some cardio. As Sam Sulek once says, I know you're skipping your cardio. Guarantee it. But, I mean, to each their own, I guess. I think the phone's a little bit crooked, but whatever. If you don't want to get some gains, and that's unfortunate for you. I'm gonna try to pick up all the gains that are on the table. I think training through soreness and training through adversities in your life, and trying to get to the gym as much as you possibly can, that's really gonna benefit you in the long run. You're gonna be a lot more mentally tough than your neighbor, and I mean that in a biblical term, not a the person that lives next to you. Because I mean, you could have Chris Bumstead living next to you. I mean, who knows? But yeah, it's definitely going to benefit you in the long run. Training like you have to get to the gym every single day. Because I mean, I do. There's nothing in my day that's better than my lift. And I can say that confidently because my days have been kind of sucking. That's about the one thing I look forward to throughout the day is getting in there, and getting after it. And there's not much else that compares to the feeling of you know, moving some weights and getting bigger. In my opinion, you know, there's things that are pretty close to it, but not nearly as good for you, you know. And I'm in the business of growing, you know. I'm not really too worried. Like I stay pretty active, but when it comes down to it, I'm trying to put some muscle on, and doing that, you know, it's good for you. Especially the dieting aspect of it, you know, if you eat a little bit healthier, that's good for you. But and I just appreciate the mental aspect that it gives you. You know, it's definitely made doing things that you don't want to do easier, because, you know, it's just like sometimes you just don't want to go to the gym. I mean, there's times where I don't want to go to the gym. It's not very often, but like a day like today, it would have been nice to, you know, sit back and relax and do nothing for the evening. But, you know, I'm not going to do that. It's chest day, for Pete's sake. Who doesn't want to go to the gym on chest day? I hit legs yesterday. I deserve it. You know, I deserve to hit chest. The sun melted my can, which is, you know, just fine and dandy, except for the fact that I could barely scoop this shit out. It's getting pretty hard in there. All right. See you in there. Maybe. All right. A little bit of fumbling around with the microphone, but I got it to work. I am leaving the gym as per usual. It's a little bit late, but oh well. I just won't be able to make it over to Walmart, unfortunately. Very good lift. I got exactly what I wanted to out of it. I hit chest, and then, you know, migrated into back and hit back really hard. And I hit chest sufficiently, but I hit back really hard. And I think that is what I need to start doing. My back's pretty developed, but I could be hitting it better. And I think today definitely proved that, because the back pump was pretty nutty. And I think, you know, best way to judge your lifts, a pump is a pretty good indication that your lift went well. Pump as well as fatigue is a pretty good indication that you lifted sufficiently. I'm going to eat some food. Not exactly sure what I'm going to eat, but I'm going to find something. I always do. But, you know, as far as for the day that I had, I definitely think that my lift could have been worse. And, you know, you have some bad days, but, I mean, sometimes that bad day turns into the best lift that you've ever had. And that'll just happen, you know. You guys can't really see me very well. That bad lift will just, I mean, it could turn into something good, you know. And I think I think you should go no matter what kind of day that you have, because I mean, it could, like today. Today was probably one of the best back days that I've had in a while. I don't know if that's because I did some different exercises, but I trained with some serious intensity, and that's all it comes down to, is how intense you're training, and make sure you have some good form. And the pump was good. I will say, the pump was good. I lifted for about 2 hours. I did some incline dumbbell press, and then I moved on to like mid to high cable flies, or maybe a little bit below my shoulders, but it's on the cables where it's two vertical settings where all you do is move it up and down, and it has a cable attachment on it, so it's a fixed angle. The only thing that's changing is the height, and that is my preference in terms of my flies. I'd rather use that over anything, because it's good stuff. And then I moved on to, after I did that, I did some weighted dips. I did about 2 sets, 3 sets. I can't exactly remember, because I was also doing lat pullovers with the machine, which felt pretty good. I used to not be in favor of that machine, but it was pretty good, I will say. After I got done with that, I moved on to single arm lat pull downs / a row. I would characterize that as a pull down, because it's high to low, but I did 3 sets of that, and that was the deciding factor to me that really proved that it was a good back day. The lat pullovers was a precursor to my decision that it was going to be a good back day. And it was. I made up my mind at that point, because the pull downs really made it apparent. And then to top it all off, I did some lat pull downs, starting wide grip, then I moved to close grip, and I did 2 sets of that, but that was still failure. And I was starting to feel it in my biceps, which is a pretty good indication that your back's getting tired. As long as your form is good throughout your lift, if you start using biceps, then that's a pretty good indication that your back's getting pretty tired. And any volume after that any volume after that is kind of just junk volume. But I'm not really too big of a believer in junk volume. I think it's not going to hurt you. Too much for sure will hurt you, but a little bit of junk volume never hurt anybody. Other than that, it was a pretty good lift. I'm glad that I went. But there's worse things to worry about than whether you get into the gym on a bad day. Your bad day could very well prevent you from going to the gym in general. And if you have the choice to go to the gym, then why aren't you? There's no reason that if you have a choice for one way or the other, why are we not choosing the better option? I mean, if you want to see results, then going to the gym in unoptimal conditions is how you're going to grow. If you're tired and you feel like you need to sleep or whatever, don't go home and take a nap. Go to the gym, come home, take a nap. Because if you, we both know if you're taking a nap after work or school or whatever, you're not, it's very likely that you're not going to get back up and go to the gym, because at that point it's hard to get motivated after sleeping. I mean, it's different for everybody. Some people wake up motivated, but a lot of the time that's just not the case. I think if you really want to see some results, you're gonna have to just push through some of the heartaches that you got, and get in the gym. That's the best way to gain muscle, is to go when everything points you not to. Listen to your body, of course, but getting in the gym is important if you want to see results. Consistency, training with intensity. I'm going to say it a million times, but it's really all that matters. But other than that, I really don't have too much to add, so I'm going to go home and eat some food. I'll catch you later.